Welcome. Almost a year ago, the popular YouTube channel Exploring Abandoned Mines and Unusual Places, also known as Frank, uploaded a video to their channel in which he supposedly found the M Cave, the one described by the missing hiker Kenny Veach. In doing so, whilst he was there recording, Frank came across some interesting features within, including an airflow, a potential fill-in, and even an Area 51 sign. What was that area all about? Was it linked with military? Well, one of the contacts that guided him to the area was called Don, who's involved in military. And also for recent, there has been new developments and activity there. Here's a transcript of what Frank had to say. So why am I posting a second video? Well, Don went back out there to the M Cave sector this past spring and observed some new developments at what we are certain is the M Cave that Kenny Veach inadvertently stumbled upon. How Kenny made it all the way to this particular geographical location without being detected or accosted by military authorities still baffles Don and me. Kenny truly was a hardcore elusive hiker. Once I heard about these new developments that Don observed at the cave, I needed to see them for myself and make a video record of them. With Don's help, I managed to get back out there to Kenny's M Cave and observe what has been changed since my last visit almost a year ago. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get close to the cave like I did last time due to reasons that will be shown and explained in this brief video update. So now, I think it's time we take a look at this new footage of Frank's and compare to see what's changed since his last visit out there.
So some new developments here at the M Cave. It looks like they've installed a restricted area sign right there. Danger. So my buddy Don was out here not too long ago. He did a more thorough look and he thought he saw some trail cams off to the right. Somewhere over in there, at least I think he said to the right. They might have been to the left. I don't see anything that resembles a trail cam, but they can disguise those to look like anything, rocks, tree stumps. But yeah, it's definitely a new development. Very interesting. Why they would restrict access to that area. So Don's waiting for me. He didn't want to come out here again, so I got about an hour hike back to him. I told him I wasn't back in 2 hours to come looking for me. He didn't want to take a chance on coming out here again and putting his career on the line in the military. So that's the latest on the M Cave.
Hi there. So it's quite interesting the footage we've just observed based on past history of previous hikers who have gone to a specific location, recorded, uploaded, and shortly afterwards there has been changes made to the environment, the structure, whether it be things being added or removed. We've seen it with the mine shaft, the damage to it. We've seen it with the supposed covered M Cave in which a rock was taken away. And I'm sure there might be much more out there. In this case though, with Frank's M-shaped cave, things have been added, such as the sign and supposedly trail cams. What we're going to do right now is go back through the footage and break it down bit by bit to see if anything else has been changed, okay? So let's begin with the first screenshot facing the entrance of the M Cave. I will be using a magnifying glass shortly to make things clearer. So from what we can see on screen right now, the most obvious thing that stands out, which wasn't originally there, is the sign. And we look at that, there you go. Danger, restricted area. My question is, how has it been placed into the ground? Was it dug in with effort, or is it merely propped up by those loose rocks, that rock wall? I'm not quite sure because the footage doesn't show, but yeah. I wonder if the Area 51 sign is still within too, hidden away. Now, what I can show you is a before and after shot of this location, so you might be able to see more noticeable changes. Before I do so, I just want to point out this rock wall. which does look man-made. Now, at the time, it looked like it was in slightly better condition. Maybe through weathering and rocks rolling away, that's why it looks more destroyed now. Or is it possible that it's been, covered the whole entrance, so when someone came back to place that sign there, they had to knock the wall down maybe, or as we were trying to climb over it, that's what caused the rocks to fall? Because it'll make more sense if I just show you the before shot now and then flick back to this, you might get a better picture. So hopefully you've seen the difference between the two shots. You can let me know down below if you noticed anything else, okay? So now, let's activate the magnifier. Just use that red dot so we can get a better look. I don't know what zoom level you prefer or have in preference. Maybe that. So, yes, you've got the rocks. That all looks the same from the looks of it. You got the rock wall there. Zoom out a bit. Anything within? Does anything show? Is anything hiding or peeking in the darkness? Any other objects? Wire, barbed wire, whatever? Doesn't look like it. And when I do zoom in, we can't really see where that stick is placed, whether it's in the rock wall or behind into the ground. The only reason why I question is because it might highlight more of a professional or amateur job. Was it rushed or was it done with care? Then it might highlight the type of person that was responsible for putting it there in the first place. As said, we'll get more into that later on. More to the right over there, the distance. Really, the only other location to look at is just the ground level, okay? Check the ground level. You got rock fall, loose bits of rock, so terrain's unstable. A few big boulders, which are most likely from the rock wall. You've got a little tin can of something there, a few of them at least, yep. Couple more there, and yeah, that's about it for this shot. Let's move on to the next angle. So this shot is just zoomed in, but I wanted to share it with you in case you weren't aware. If we zoom in just here, right of the sign where these rocks are, the light grey ones with the cracks in, this is around the area where the airflow was coming out from when Frank first visited the location. Okay, as you can see. Here is just a little video of it when he first visited. Now this shot is when Frank pans round to the right when he's talking about Don when he visited and supposedly found trail cams, either there on the right or left hand side. Let's try and find them and see if they do show up. I think it's best if we use the magnifying glass to get a closer look. So we just activate it one more time. The ground itself doesn't look to be of much interest, but we can still have a little peek. Okay. So yes, you've got the typical bits of rock. Slightly different colouring of it, but nothing too special. Now it depends where the cameras could be. That looks like a bit of a wire, but I think it's just from the brush, the vegetation itself as it goes up. Could it be in this area where the rocks are? The cracks? Could a camera be wedged within, possibly? I'm not sure. Let me zoom in a bit more, maybe. Can you see anything there? Does anything show? Apologies for background sound. Trying to go as slow as possible, just so you can get a nice look at it, okay? Now, if Don did find the cameras, I don't know why he didn't say exactly where they were, just so Frank was aware. You know, it's good to be aware so you know where to go and where not to. So it doesn't look like much is there at first glance. In the distance, could that be too far away to be able to pick up anyone? I can't imagine it being up here or down here. I'd say probably where there's maybe bushes, rocks like this. This rock formation here. Anything hidden within? Doesn't look like it. As said, I just want to go as slow as possible so you can all have a good look at it, because you might find something which I haven't. Okay, so I think that's it, because there's only so much we can look at. Let's check the left-hand side now to see if there's any possible cameras. I think it's best we use the magnifying glass once again. Now, apologies about the white bar at the bottom of the screen. There's not much you can do about that. But if we just have a little look at the ground level, what do we see? We see a few more tin cans. Quite a few loose rocks. And as well, even a plank of wood, as you can see there. Hopefully it shows up. So slightly extend it. There you go. Now I don't know if that was there originally. Maybe it was. Got some more items there, and you've got another plank of wood, a thinner piece over here, as you can see. Now we'll just put that for a second. So these planks of wood, I don't know why they're there. I don't know if they've been moved or that's exactly where they were the very first time. I don't have a before and after shot of this angle, unfortunately, so I can't share that with you. But nevertheless, having planks of wood like that, which are similar to the mine shaft where Scott Natal, Kenny, Jeff Clark have all been, and Sean too, etc. But this is not a mine shaft. From the looks of it, there's no mines around, just a cave in the shape of an M. So is it some kind of underground or secret mine, and that's why there is that airflow coming out of the side of the cave? It would all make sense. And those planks of wood, they were buried and scattered inside the cave as well, with the odd bottles associated with inside the mine shaft of when Scott Natal went to Joe May Canyon. A lot of similarities, so we need to keep track of all this, okay? Now, in terms of the distance, I don't know where it is, but maybe along the way you might be able to piece it together and picture it. I don't know what directions we are facing currently, but it seems to be further back there on a slope going downwards, as you can see by the gradient, so that might give something away. Now up close, the vegetation, a few bushes, who knows if this camera's hidden within them, but it doesn't look like it at the moment. What's that? What's that little thing sticking up? Probably just a rock. Okay. Something over there. We just move that away. Bring it back. That's yet another thing. It looks like a little owl in a way, but I think it's most likely a rock. There you go. Let me know what you think. You never know. Okay. The rock formation up here. I can't imagine. I mean, a camera could be placed up there for the vantage point, I guess. But really, I don't know if it's practical. Like, would they be bothered to do that? Let's go all the way across the ridge and see if anything shows up. Doesn't look like it. No. to the side. Okay. What about in the middle? Like there's one section which is kind of interesting. This bit, that's slightly lighter coloured rock. Okay. Anything in this area? As I said, you've got that there, which stands out, and you've got that one there. Actually, this is kind of interesting, in my opinion. I don't know if I can do arrows. Oh, I don't know. Is it possible? Oh, maybe it is. Right, I want to do this on the spot before I forget. So you got an owl-shaped thing there, and you've got an owl-shaped thing right there. Oh wow, we can actually do it as well. Okay, there you go, boom. Right, so you got that there. I'll just move it away for a second. You see where the arrow's pointing, and I bring it over right there. And let's just duplicate it again, okay? And then we put the other one, where is it? Hold on. Right there. Does that make sense? There. They look literally identical, right? Don't they? They do look identical. I'll try and zoom in a bit more if possible. Can you see that? The way it's like just perched, stood up. That's kind of weird, because they do look the same. And when it comes to trail cams, maybe they come in different shapes and sizes, but I've seen them come in a pair. Now, I don't know if you remember, I might be able to get some footage up now of Scott Natal when he was, I guess, at that spring where he came across those like trail nature cams. Here you go.
Everybody's watching the area. We got a camera right there. And another camera right there.
Okay, so you might get the idea. So let's just move them away. Put them down here. There we go. So hopefully that made sense in a way, and you can let me know what you think. I don't know if there's anything else of interest present. Still interested in these rocks in a way. Down here, not much, just simple ground level. And then this is like the beginning of, I guess, the rock wall and the M Cave entrance. So yeah. And lastly, I know the audio got a bit dodgy towards the end of the clip of Frank's, but that's just because of the wind, the weather. You've seen it in Scott Natal's videos. It's because where they are, I guess the altitude, the time in the weather, the lot. It can affect the quality of one's mic. So yeah, I guess this is a back shot of the way he came, I assume. He said he hiked for over an hour. So I don't know how much distance has been covered, or what terrain he went over. But I guess it provides a different perspective of where he may be. I know we didn't get given coordinates or the direct location, as Frank said, for certain reasons, okay? Do any of you recognised any of this? Maybe if you've been on Google Earth, if you've been on one of the peaks, Sheep Peak, Sheep Range, Hayford Peak, wherever. You might have seen this in the distance, possibly. You can leave a comment down below. I will just quickly use the magnifying glass so you can see in the distance a little bit clearer, maybe. Maybe it will help. One thing I want to make note of, okay, is you see this line here going all the way, lighter colour. It does look like some kind of dirt track where a vehicle might come down. If that's the case, is it a military road only? Is it a private one? I'm not too sure. But hopefully you can see it. Zoom it in. Right there, how it goes all the way up. I might be wrong, but just from my time looking on Google Maps and everything, it kind of looks like one. Okay? Now, as for the distance, it does seem to go up and down, as you can see. Up and down. And you can kind of see in the distance, but it's not quite clear. Try and zoom in. Does anything show? I guess not. Bit darker, those rocks in the distance. Just move it over here, okay. And then you kind of got the background over there where it does look quite hazy or misty, so that probably doesn't give much away. But it seems to stretch on for quite a few miles, okay. So I think that's it. I don't think anything else is showing on camera. Not from this angle, at least. Okay, so I hope the analysis was clear enough to follow. Now, we need to get on to the important question. Who is responsible for placing that sign there and possibly adding trail cams too? Well, if trail cams are in fact there, as well with the sign, then it must be military, government, or the people that work at the Wildlife Refuge Centre or some kind of park ranger. Those type of people that will have access to that type of equipment. If it's been used elsewhere and now it's implemented here, there's got to be a reason for it and a certain type of person to do it, okay? Now, if we just put the cameras to the side, since there wasn't any full-on hard evidence of them being present, and we just look at the sign, who could be responsible for that? Could it just simply be some kind of prank? Someone watched Frank's video in the past and decided to go there themselves and explore and I guess take a sign with them to make it look spooky and mysterious? Possibly, because let's look back at the mine shaft. There was damage done to it. And I guess because of the odd video by Jeff Clark, Scott Natal, Jay Chuck, those people, strangers out there that watched those videos went out themselves, and then that's what caused the damage. And that was in fact true when a group of guys ended up breaking the ladder accidentally. That was resolved. Now, could you apply that situation to this? Well, possibly, because on this occasion, over 900,000 people have viewed this M cave location in Frank's previous video. So out of those 900,000 people, maybe one was responsible. You never know. And as well, what we must also take in mind, the Area 51 sign found within the cave, people in the comment section did previously say that if you go on Amazon, you can find these type of signs there. So maybe it was all done as one big prank. And by adding a new sign, it keeps that mystery alive. Possibly. But you've got to ask yourself this. Okay, you can get Area 51 signs from Amazon. There you go. But you can also get warning signs as well from Amazon, and they do look very similar. But you can also get CCTV style signs, what you would see when you're exploring abandoned buildings in real life. You know, the odd abandoned building I might have passed, you had those typical signs, warning, keep out, warning, CCTV in operation. And you can get the same exact thing online, fake ones. You see where I'm going? You know, okay, you can get a fake one, but there's also a genuine one out there in a certain location. It doesn't mean to say that sign in that actual location is a fake one. It's just that there are fake alternative signs online, and people seem to associate the ones online with the ones in real life in a location and say, well, it's fake, it's fake. That's not always the case though, is it? In addition, one key point we must consider is the location. It looks far out. I know someone was going on about the highway in the past, but as you saw, as he panned around, it's like one big valley or something, or a canyon, whatever you want to call it. No, public roads nearby. You couldn't hear any traffic. You couldn't see the highway in the distance. He said he hiked out there for an hour, and his buddy Ron, or Don, helped him get there in the first place, I guess, by driving him there up to a certain point. So must be some distance out there to get that far. So then it makes you think, well, if we add in the fact that we don't know the location, coordinates have not been given or shared publicly to anyone. As well, he's hiked out there for an hour, so there's a bit of distance covered on foot in itself. The visual background doesn't depict any closeness to civilization, roads, highways. And as well, the idea of military and restricted land, that being talked about, you come to that conclusion of, how could a general public stranger come across this location? If they've not been told the location, no one's been told, how could anyone find this spot and put a sign there as a prank? How? It wouldn't make any sense, would it? Unless some person accidentally stumbled across the location. But then again, if you're accidentally coming across something, you're not going to be prepared. You're not going to have those items or signs with you at the time. So, I mean, you could argue and say it might be a local, someone who's been there in the past, who was responsible for the Area 51 sign, and now this sign, and, you know, they're making it one big joke. But still, it just seems a bit far-fetched and stretched to go all that distance just to change something or add something. If it was very nearby and it was a very short hike, then yeah, it would make sense. But to use so much energy up and time just to make one little change in hopes of somebody returning to that one spot so they get recognised, it just seems a little bit slim. I know people have said, oh yeah, dozens and dozens of people go out there hiking. But do they? No. Actual hikers who've been there have said only a small amount of people visit. Out of all those hikers you've seen out there, they've never once caught another person on camera in that same spot, whether it be Joe May Canyon, Picture Canyon. I don't know about Pine Nut Road, because I don't think people have been up that way. As for Hidden Forest Trail, that's more of a, you know, public nature style walk where more people go because there's actual pathways and it's, you know, further out or so, and it's got a parking lot, etc. But the hikers we've seen and where they've been, it's been desolate, it's been open, vast, and kind of dangerous too. So it's not likely you'd come across just a random person here and there. No. In addition, a final point I just wanted to add in was referring back to the sign where it said danger, warning, keep out, whatever. That sign is normally associated with what you might find at a building, an abandoned one, where they don't want you to go in because it's unstable, it's unsafe, and you might get hurt, whether it be a loose floorboard, you might fall through, or it might be above loose bricks that might fall on your head, etc. Now with this cave, okay, there might be some kind of rock fall, you might get caved in, etc. But it's only a shallow cave. And why that one spot? What about all the other caves, shallow or not, which Scott Natal has come across, Sean, Jay Chuck? How come none of the caves they've been to have had a sign placed there to keep people out? You know, why this one spot? What's so significant about it? That's one thing you've got to consider, right? And as well, it's not saying like you're going to get in trouble if you go in, but then I guess if there's cameras present, they might do it in a sneaky, stealthy way and get you that way going in. But when you actually look at the structuring of that cave itself, not the rock wall, the cave, and when you're inside, it does look pretty stable and secure. Frank didn't say anything about it being a bit dodgy or dangerous. Yeah, he had to get down low and crawl under, I guess, but there was no sign of decay, no sign of, you know, instability. You didn't hear any rocks, you know, falling or crumbling. It seemed okay. So I don't know why they would put a sign like that there if it's okay and secure. It's more like a deterrent. So it makes you think, what's really going on here? It does make you wonder, could military or government be responsible for this sign, for the changes to the environment? And for what reason? What are they hiding? You look back, that cave most likely has been there for a long time, and it's only when a YouTuber who publicly recorded and uploaded it online, that's when the changes occurred afterwards. So someone has most definitely been watching. The question is, why are they so keen on trying to drive back people from entering? What's within the cave? We look back at the airflow. Could it run deeper underground? Is it a possible tunnel entrance to a base? Who knows? From what Frank said, Don will keep us updated if anything changes or occurs along the way. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the situation. For now, that's all. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.